What is going on, guys? I'm Voice of Validity, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Concord. But before we get into all of that, I want to give a shout out to all of the Xbox players who have been shitting on this game, because good job. And anybody else, PlayStation fans who have been shitting on this game too, thank you, because that game deserves to be shit on. Let's get started. The first thing that I want to address is that I've never been a conspiracy theorist, but what Xbox people or Xbox fans have been saying now for some time is beginning to make sense. We are witnessing it in first hand, and there is no denying that the media treats PlayStation differently. I've heard that several times, and I had never really seen anything that to me gave any sort of truth to that saying, right? Like, it just seemed like people who were a little bit salty because PlayStation was having a little bit more success. But now it's beginning to make sense, because as soon as Concord launched and it just flopped, these gaming media journalist websites began to basically try to sell Concord. They started talking about the game being good and that we should give it a chance, and all of these things that just to me rubbed me the wrong way, because you're only supposed to be reporting on these games, and yet you're trying to sell me this video game that, for why, quite frankly, I had no interest in playing, and really nobody did, considering how bad it flopped. But I don't want you to sell me the game. I just want you to tell me what the game is, and that's it. But for whatever reason, they kept making post after post after post, and it continued pretty much, at least I would say, one or two posts per day. It was insane. It was very much so like a salesperson would. Why would you do that? It feels like it's some sort of agenda to try to push out this game that, again, quite frankly, nobody wanted to play. It rubbed me the wrong way, and it made me kind of begin to see what Xbox people have been saying, that the media treats PlayStation differently, which is just a weird thing for me. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't like monopolies in anything, really. No company should be a monopoly, and it's beginning to kind of feel like we're beginning to get into one, and so I don't know how to feel about that. But now we want to talk about more specifically what the journalists are not saying. They keep putting out this narrative of the game just launched, in a really good state, but players aren't giving it a chance. The $40 price tag on it was really affecting how much people played it, or that they bought it or whatever. It launched on a poor window in an oversaturated market. But the thing that 90% of the gamers are saying is not being reported on whatsoever. None of these gaming journalism websites are talking about the ugly character design that they have decided to go with. They have had over 8 years of time to develop this game, and they decided to go with the ugliest characters that I have ever seen in a video game ever. There's prettier monsters in Resident Evil than there are in this video game. Like that's not supposed to be a thing. These people are supposed to be likable, especially if you're doing a game as a service. Like, you want your characters to be likable, and yet they are all so unlikable. And the reason why they are is because they're trying to push this agenda onto you of these very generalized behaviors that people who I don't agree with politically seem to have. I don't know if you guys are understanding what I mean, but basically, like, if your life revolves around your pronouns, we can't be friends, is what I'm saying. Or at least we can be friends, but I just don't agree with your ideologies, is all. And this game felt like they were trying to push all of these ideologies down your throat. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to be part of that. Nobody wants to be forced into a diversity video game. Like, it's just not a good thing. You know, if you need a diverse set of characters for your video game, that's fine. But if you want a video game mainly just for diversity, that's not fine, because you're forcing something into something that you're trying to market to a vast audience of people. And I know it's counterintuitive, but the more you try to market to everybody, the less market you're actually attracting. It's kind of like that saying of, if you make something for everyone, you make something for no one. And quite frankly, no one showed up. Less than 700 people on Steam showed up, and on PlayStation the numbers are not even public. But believe me, they're not that great if Sony decided not only to cancel the game itself, but also refund everybody who purchased the game. That's not something that Sony takes lightly. Believe me, this company does not like giving away money. But I kind of feel like they're forced. So it's kind of weird to me that none of these media outlets are reporting on the issue that 90% of the people on Twitter that have ever mentioned the word Concord are complaining about. Nobody's mentioning it. They're all just mentioning the launch window, the price tag, the saturated market, which, again, there might be some truth to what they're saying, but it's not the entire truth. And the main concern that people are bringing up is not being addressed whatsoever. It's a shame, really, because we can never have a dialogue if we just keep getting ignored. You know, they ignored us with Battlefield 5. They ignored us with this game, and they will continue to ignore us. And I don't understand why. They keep losing money for no good reason. And it's weird, you know, because we keep telling them that the answer is no. We do not want these kinds of games. We don't need forced diversity. I am not a white person, but I will play as John Marston and Arthur Morgan and Joel from The Last of Us. You know, I see myself in them. I don't need to be them. They don't need to have my skin tone. You know, they don't need to talk the way that I do or dress the way that I do for me to feel like I'm in a way, you know, important. You don't need to cater to me. Just make a good game, and believe me, people will flock to you. I love God of War, and I am not pale like Kratos, you know. But that's pretty much it for me. If you have any thoughts, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. You know, if you want to add anything else, if I forgot something, please feel free to do so as well. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all beautiful people next time if you stick around.